All right, excellent. Let me go through the disclaimer again real quick. Illustrations and stories that are going to be used during the following presentation are purely hypothetical and are for illustrative purposes only. Making money in this business or any business opportunity is not guaranteed. Making money in obviously anywhere is not guaranteed at all. Results are based on individual efforts, talents, and abilities. So I love the good old Federal Trade Commission wants us to say that stuff. On the other hand, no matter what country you're in, you have to check with your particular country based on those laws there. But I can tell you, this is now almost 20 years being around the network marketing profession, and it is amazing. The information you learn on webinars like this and being a part of this profession is second to none. It's helped my wife and I earn millions of dollars in profits. I know there's someone very similar to you, similar circumstances, similar background, that's probably had a very similar experience of going from not much or nothing in a lot of cases to achieving extraordinary success. So the disclaimer is there for those people that need that. Let me talk about building the business. Now, if you can kind of see this, let's see, go through here. Let me talk about being active. All right. Active in at least the compensation plan that I'm building, which is a company called Seacret. It's an international skincare brand. They're using binary commission structure. So I know there's a lot of people from all over the world that are plugged in here today. This is going through the basics of a binary compensation plan and structuring one. Now, there's a lot more elements to it. This is structuring and the way I've found it to be most effective. Now, again, I would check with your upline support team, people that you're working with, to find out what they believe is best. This is what I believe is best. Doesn't mean I'm right, okay? But I find this extremely effective. Now, being active in our commission structure means that you have at least a 35 business volume order. Business volume is simply an assignment of volume to every particular product that you purchase. In most product companies, they have what's called a commissionable volume, CV or BV. That's how they determine commissions. And the reason they do that's universal through whatever particular currency that your country has. So, in Canada and Mexico, obviously it's different. Japan, South Korea, Europe, South America, there's different currencies. So we use a BV measurement. That BV for us, no matter what country you're in, is going to be a minimum of 35 BV order. That means you're active. What does that mean? You can store volume and earn commissions. Okay, so you got to be active. The second thing is you got to be what's called qualified. Qualified means that you personally sponsored, means you brought in two people, one on your left team and one on your right team. And you can see it there. You got a left team, you got a right team. And when you've done that, when you brought two people in, each that are also active, meaning they also have a 35 BV order, they're doing that every 4 weeks, you are now also qualified, meaning that you are now qualified to earn team commissions and all the other commissions and bonuses that this compensation plan has to offer. Now, as you're building your structure, it's very important to know where your sponsor is. Now, it doesn't mean that your sponsor is going to do anything for you. A lot of people think their sponsor is going to build out a big organization for them, and in all likelihood, they're not going to. If they do, that's gravy. God bless them. That's awesome. Now, a lot of times people get involved in this business because their sponsor or upline says, hey, listen, get started today, and I'm going to blow out a line of sponsorship for you, and you'll never have to worry about one line. That's good and bad. Okay, number one, in most all compensation plans, you have to have a multitude of leaders on both sides that you personally brought in to maximize the commission structure. Okay, in Seacret, the compensation plan I'm building, that's certainly true. However, whether that's true or not, whether you have a strong upline that actually is building a line, that's gravy. Still think in your mind you got to build two. Now, for the vast majority, that's not going to happen. Okay, I want you to know that didn't happen for me. Okay, I did get spillage, but it was about 2 years into building this that I started getting a lot of spillage from the upline after 2 years. So if I'd have waited for that, I'd have probably starved to death. I built both of my lines of sponsorship, both. Okay, with multiple leaders on both sides. That's what would be my recommendation. However, it is important to know what side of the tree your sponsor puts you on. If you don't know, ask your sponsor. If they're not in the business anymore, find out calling the company, and they should be able to tell you. To say, what side am I on? Am I on the left side or the right side of my sponsor? Okay. Now, the reason you want to know that is because the first person you bring in should be on the same side that you're sharing with your sponsor. In this particular example, you're sharing your right side with your sponsor, meaning that the first person you bring in should be placed where? On your right side, exactly. That's where the first person comes in. Now, again, you want to build two strong teams. And language is very important. You don't want to be using the language of strong line, weak line, greater line, lesser line. Get rid of all that language. You're going to build two very strong organizations. And both are very, very important. Okay, and again, you want to think long term. Most people don't succeed in business simply because they can't see past the end of their own nose. And in business, you got to think like a farmer. You got to plant the seeds, you got to cultivate, and then comes a harvest over a period of gestation, meaning a period of time that whatever crop you're trying to grow will have the ability to germinate the seed, to grow root system, to grow up its plant system, and then develop its fruit. Okay, for corn, for example, has a 90-day gestation, meaning 90 days from the time the seed's planted to the time you're actually able to harvest your corn. Apple takes a lot longer. Pear takes a lot longer, so forth and so on. So it depends on the harvest you want. Again, if you want to make a lot of money, just know there's going to be a longer gestation period of time. It's just the way it is. So thinking long term is I'm building two very large organizations. The very first person that comes in is going to be on the side I'm sharing with my sponsor. Again, in this example, on the right side. Okay, and it's on the left side and right side because as you can see, on the screen, it's one's on the left and one's on the right. Very simple, but two teams you're building. Okay, the second person that you bring in will be on the other side, whatever that is. In this example, it's on the left side. That now gets you qualified. You brought in two people in the business, one on the right and one on the left, and now you're qualified. The third person that you bring into the business should also be on the shared side with your sponsor. This is my recommendation. I'd highly recommend you do this. Okay, so it would look like this. The fourth person goes on the other side, and you're going to keep doing that. Now, at this point, you typically want to work on the side that has less volume for that particular week. As you build your business, you're going to have people that are coming in on both sides, and as they buy product and as they get started in the business and buy their business packages, a BV volume amount is going to be assigned to that, and you're going to be able to see how much volume's on the left side, how much volume's on the right side. As you bring in somebody new, you want to place that person after the first four on whatever side has less volume for that particular week. That would be my recommendation. If you're a stronger builder, meaning that you're good at recruiting a lot of people, you may want to stay on one side a little bit longer. Okay? For me, that's what I did in the beginning, what a lot of people do. Okay? However, you got to do what's best for you, and sticking to this format is going to work. Now, as you build this, okay, and again, quotation if, a big if, your sponsor does put someone on your team, and that, again, it's not really your team, that they're building a left team and a right team as well. And so the beauty about the binary is that everyone has to do it if they want to succeed. So your sponsor, they need to put some more people on that right side, and this person, we'll call them your sponsor's recruit here, they decide to get in the business, your sponsor places them there. That's good news, right? Because their volume can count for you. All right, and as they bring people in, of course, their first person also goes on that shared side. Second person goes on the other side to qualify them. And, then you got number one, they get excited. They go also place their first person. Here, let me back this up a little bit. Their first person also on that shared side. Did you see that builds? And, of course, the second person over here to qualify the spot. Okay, the third person, right? You got your sponsor. They got their first, their second, their third goes down here, the fourth down here. Now it's starting to grow, isn't it? In this scenario, you have obviously more volume. Now, again, it may not be so, but in this scenario, more likely you have more volume on this right side. So in that case, you place your fifth recruit over here on your left side. Okay, just to give you a basic example of how this works. And for those of you that are squinting to try to read this, this is the disclaimer that we put out at the beginning. I'm just making sure it's on every page. Now, let's talk about this. Let's talk about how this is going to really grow. And I want to talk about the communication aspect of this in a real scenario. Okay, this is a real scenario. You're starting to build it. As you can see, you got things going on, and I renamed them instead of first and second and third. You got Cindy here, Tony, and Patty. Over here, you got Dan and Jill. Okay, and then of course I'm not really naming the rest of them, but because this isn't part of your what we call your pair group or your personally enrolled active report, meaning everything that you brought in, not including your sponsor upline, is your pair. Okay, now you see how the line's connected here from Dan to Tim. So Tim's actually in your pair. Tim's someone that is on your actual enrollment tree. Okay, so these are the names. Now I want to share with you what you do. Okay, for example, in this scenario, Cindy's first, or actually, really, Dan first, then Cindy second, right? But let's just say in this line, because you're going to start to build this line right now because you got more volume more than likely on this side. Okay, you do this on both sides. Believe me, both sides. You're going to do it simultaneously. I'm going to spend more time on one to give you an idea of how this works. Now, when Tony got in, Tony, of course, doesn't know Cindy. Cindy didn't recruit Tony. In fact, Tony really has nothing to do with Cindy. You're the one who brought Tony in this example. So you're the one with the relationship. So you don't want to really delegate anything to Cindy at this point. But what you want to do is have Tony, Tony's getting started, excite Cindy. See, here's what we all want. We want people that are getting on the business. Now, again, if you're a sponsor that's starting to really help build the business, you want to create this spillage. Well, it's a generic term, in this business, meaning that you're bringing people into the business and spilling them over because you only can build 2 lines, even though you can have multiple lines of sponsorship. But in those 2 lines, right? For example, Tony and Cindy are each 1 line of sponsorship. So is Patty. That's 3 different lines of sponsorship for you. Okay, actually 4 or 5. In this scenario, you have 5 different lines of sponsorship. You've recruited 5 personal people in this scenario. However, they're in the binary structure. So Tony falls under Cindy, and Patty falls under both Tony and Cindy in this scenario. Okay, now this is exciting stuff. Many of you that have been around for a while, you probably recruited people in the business and you expect them to do this, right? You're like, all right, let's go build this business. We're going to make it happen together. And they tell you, of course, I'm going to do it. I'm excited. They're excited like you are, but then they don't do anything. I'm sure you'd all agree. If we're interacting, you'd probably all be saying, yep, absolutely. Well, how do you get them to be excited? Most of the time, what do? We pick up the phone, we call them up, we say, hey, Cindy, you know what? Let's get you going. What do we got to do to help you? Who can we talk to? This kind of thing. Or, hey, how many people have you talked to today? And that stuff doesn't work. That's not going to really motivate Cindy. Cindy just got started. She's maybe your friend, maybe a colleague, and she's never done anything like this before. So instead of trying to get her to go do something, get her excited about what's happening by you doing the work. Now, we're going to talk about that in a moment. But as you're structuring this, what the conversation would be something like this. You'd call up Cindy, say, hey, Cindy, you'll never believe this. I got the best news for you. My friend Tony just saw the business, excited out of his mind. He's a great guy. Tony's sharp. Tony's one of these people that I believe is an incredible entrepreneur. He's great with people. I believe he's going to build a very big business. Now, I can't promise anything because I don't know. Let me back up here. Very important that you do that. Almost everything's about expectation. You never want to say, Tony's going to build the biggest empire in the world. He's definitely going to do it. You don't know what Tony's going to do. You don't want to make that kind of claim. Okay? Instead, be honest about it. Say all the things you believe Tony's going to do, but say, look, I don't know. I can't promise. All I know is I believe Tony is going to build a big business. I think he's going to be amazing. And Cindy, I don't want you to miss out on this. You can log into your back office. Look, Tony's there. But you know what? If you're not active, you're definitely going to miss out. So we got to get you active. This is one way to make sure Cindy stays active, right? Staying on the repeating order, which is retention for your business. But 2, also gets qualified. You can miss out on this volume. We got to get you qualified, Cindy. Who can we talk to? Who can you and I go talk to right now that we can help you get in the business? Now, Cindy's more likely now to introduce you to someone. Why? Because she's afraid she's going to miss out on something. Write this down. Obviously, you probably will, but here's what I've discovered. People are far more motivated by fear of loss, of losing something, than they are of hope of gain. It's just the truth. It's the reality. It's human behavior. So what you want to do is let her know she's going to miss out. And she would miss out if she doesn't go and get herself qualified. So you call up Cindy, let her know that. Now, do you depend on Cindy? Absolutely not. I have a philosophy with people. I believe in everyone, but I count on no one. Here's, let me just share this. I'm going to move this out of the way for a second. Here's what people unfortunately do in this profession, okay? Far too often. They go out there and they get a few people started, and they hope to God that those people are going to go do what they themselves are unwilling to do, or not, or just don't know how to do, or scared of doing. Because if someone told you this business is easy, they weren't exactly honest with you. Now, it's simple. Let me be clear. It's simple, meaning it's something you can do for sure. I don't care who you are, where you are, you can do this business. It's simple. Like working out is simple. I mean, think about it. Working out, provided you have the ability to actually exercise, and some people don't. But if you do, okay, you have to admit it's pretty simple, right? You just exercise, and if you do it consistently, you get in shape. However, it's hard, right? I mean, it's hard. It's effort. It's consistent effort. You sweat and you're in pain. It's not fun. It's uncomfortable. Much like this business, it's very uncomfortable. It's very difficult because it takes so much energy and it's uncomfortable. It's different from what we're used to, and we want to shy away from it. So the tendency is to get a couple people in the business and hope to God they're going to go do it, and then we can just sit back and get rich. If someone told you that, like I said, they weren't exactly honest with you, or maybe they didn't know, and don't blame them. A lot of people get started, they don't know any better, and they just say what they say. I just want you to know the truth. The reality is this is difficult, but it's possible. Not only is it possible, it's probable. And if you do the work, you'll get paid. I have not met the man or the woman who's actually genuinely put in the work over a period of time and not gotten the results. Okay, I've not met that person. Okay, it's just like you plant enough seeds, you will get a harvest. You work out long enough, you will get in shape. It's not a matter of debate. It's a matter of time and activity consistently practiced over a period of time, just like this. So what I'm trying to do is motivate Cindy to move. Now, I'm not going to depend on her, like I said. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep working the phone. I'm going to keep doing the activity. So what happens? Who gets next? Patty. She's in next. I call up Tony. Tony, you're never going to believe this. This girl, Patty, just joined. She's unbelievable. I believe she's going to build a huge business. I can't promise anything I don't know, but all I do know is based on everything Patty did, she just got started. She came with this package. She's excited. Tony, who can we talk to, man? I don't want you to miss out on this, man. I see that you're active, or if they're not active, man, let's get you active, but let's get you qualified. Who can we go talk to right now? Who can we talk to? Man, I don't want you to miss out on this. So Tony's kind of excited. He's never had anyone in his business before. He doesn't even know what that means. But now he's excited. Guess where my next phone call goes to? That's right, Cindy. Hey, Cindy. Oh, remember how I told you about Tony? Well, it just got better because I just talked to my friend Patty, and she just got started. Now she's on Tony's team, which is also on your team. So Tony's now more excited. Patty, let me tell you about Patty. And I say the same thing I just said to Tony, to Cindy, about Patty. And then I remind her about Tony. And then I say again, Cindy, who do you know? Who can we go talk to right now? Not you go talk to. And again, most amateurs, they go talk to someone. Go get someone started now. And they hang up. No, guys, that's our job. Who can we go talk to? Who can you and I go talk to right now? Okay? But I don't depend on Cindy or Tony or Patty. What do? I keep recruiting. All right, so the next person I get involved is Tracy. Tracy gets in the business. You guessed it. My next phone call is to who? Yep, that's right. I call Patty. Patty, you'll never believe it. And I say the same thing. I call Tony again. I call Cindy. Now Tony finally can't handle it. Tony gets excited because now Tony has a few people on his team. He doesn't want to miss out. He introduces you to Joe. Okay, and again, a lot of this is do activity. It's kind of hard to see, but let me just move it up here. Do the activity, recruit agents, and communicate. Again, do the activity, recruit agents, and communicate. So what happens? You get Joe, and you talk to Joe. More than likely, you're the one who talked to Joe. And again, what happens? Tony's first recruit goes where? On the shared side with you, the sponsor, right? In this scenario, the left side's now the shared side. So when Tony's first person comes in, goes right here. That's where my next phone call goes to. That's right. My next phone call goes to Tracy, then to Patty, then of course I call Cindy again. You see how this starts to compound? Of course, the next The next recruit comes in, that's Bob over here on the left to qualify Tony, and I'm able to tell Cindy about one more person, right? This is starting to get exciting now. Of course, this team's starting to build. It's all growing over here. Things are happening, and you keep going. Jacob's your 7th recruit. You're not stopping. You're not resting. You keep moving. Why? Because you're leading by example. You're doing the system. You're doing your demos a day. You're making it happen. You are consistent, okay? So now you get in Jacob. What's your next phone call go to? Well, of course, Joe. Joe's excited now. You just met Joe, but Joe's pumped up, and you see how the momentum starts to build, okay? The next person you get involved is here's Jesse, your next recruit. Jesse gets in the business, okay? Then what happens? Joe gets excited because Jesse and Jacob are on his team, so he brings in Mike, his first recruit. Joe's first recruit, of course, goes on what side? That's right, the shared side. The shared side of the sponsor, okay? Remember that. Of course, Mike's the one who takes it off. Mike's a player. Mike's like, listen, I get this. I'm on fire. Stay out of my way. I'm on it. And he starts building a big business. He brings in Nancy and John. And, of course, Jacob gets excited because all this is happening. And Jacob brings in Tim. And, bam, Mike blows up a big business. You see that? That's how this deal works. And you communicate all of this upline. All of it. You're telling everybody. You're letting them know. But at the same time, you're still doing the work. You're making it happen. You're not slowing down. Okay? And this is how it starts to build. It starts to gain momentum, and there starts to be a lot of growth. Of course, once you get this thing going, guess what happens? Your next recruit, as you get more volume over here, it's going to go over here. You get Wiles in. I don't even want to start about Wiles. Wiles is going to be a maniac. Wiles is going to blow the thing up. But you see, you're going to go back and forth. You're building 2 strong lines. This is structure. This is communication. This is the best way to do it. Again, you're being honest with people. You're not promising them anything, but you're going and doing the work. So what do we do? What do we do with people? How do we do it? Okay? Very simple. First things first, okay? We are going to schedule appointments to share Seacret. Okay, if we're in the secret business, or you can put if you're in a different company or whatnot, put your company down there, whatever it is. Okay, it doesn't really matter. You're sharing your opportunity. For me, I'm sharing Seacret with everybody I possibly can. I'm scheduling appointments to share Seacret. I'm sharing Seacret. That's a business I'm passionate about. I love this company. I'm all about it. So I'm going to schedule appointments every single day to share Seacret. What's the next thing I do? Oh, by the way, how do I do that? Very simple. I make a list, right? You all know this. If you haven't gone through your blueprint, make sure you do. There's a blueprint training in the back office. Go through that if you haven't already. Okay? Be normal. You don't want to be all crazy. Just book the appointment. Very simple. Call up someone. A simple approach. And again, we're going to get into more of this as time goes on, folks. But this is more about the structure. I'm just going to re-go through this quick. But simple script would be like this. Now, say I'm calling my friend Jason. Hey, Jason, it's Josh. Look, I don't have a lot of time, but I need to show you something. I'm excited. When can you give me about 15 minutes? I just need 15 minutes of your time. Can I stop by today after work? Yeah, sure. Okay, click, and I hang up. Okay, I booked an appointment. So all I did, when I was working and I was part-time, I did this on my work breaks, on my lunch breaks, okay? The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show up regardless if I think they're going to show up. Now, for those of you that you're in this business for a while, you're going to start doing it. What's going to happen is people aren't going to show up for appointments. People are going to stand you up. I know it's crazy, but again, it's uncomfortable. And after a while, sometimes we get the attitude of, they're not going to show up anyway. Or we say, they're going to be late, so I'm going to be late. My friends, that's the kiss of death in this business. Okay, or in any business. Your word is an extension of who you are as a person. If you say you're going to be somewhere at 7, be there at 7. Now, again, I apologize. I know that I said I was going to be here at 7. I was just on another webinar, and I thought you were listening to me. But legitimately, I apologize for that. I will make sure that doesn't happen again. However, look, if you do make a mistake and you're late, just own it. The last thing anyone wants to hear is an excuse. Okay? So just own it right away, and just make sure that you're always showing up. It's very important. Now, the second thing we do is I share Seacret. Okay, that's it. Wow party, sit downs. And let me talk about that. Okay, what do? I demo the products, very important. You can do this in 5 minutes. Quick demo products. Again, we're not going to go into big detail. We're going to go into depth in this in the coming weeks. Okay, next week we will not be doing a training because of the convention. I expect that you'll all be there in Las Vegas. However, we won't be doing a training next week, but the following week we'll be doing one. Okay, and in that week we're going to be talking about how to share the vision. Truly, what do you say? What do you do in a sit down? What do you do when you're talking to someone? That's going to be next week. Okay, so I'm not going to go through all the details right now, but it's very simple. You demo the products. We talk about that. And you're going to share the vision. Share the vision. Again, next week, we're going to be going into detail of that. You can do that in a few minutes. Large retail company moving into this new profession, and they're sharing the profits with us by discounting the customers, okay? Very simple to do it. I'm going to tell stories. And the stories you learn on webinars like this, or like our vision cast that we do every Sunday, get those stories, write them down, and share those stories. I learned a long time ago, if you can become a master storyteller, you can become a legend in the business. Truly, a legend. Just learn these stories. And I don't mean make up things. Tell the truth. At the convention, you're going to be meeting so many people. For those of you that are going, again, this is a pot of gold. You're going to go there and you're going to meet so many people from different walks of life to be able to relate with almost anybody. Take those stories, write them down. They're going to be gold to you. And you're going to want to tell these stories when you're sitting down with someone. Okay? Now, you're also going to want to do this. Okay, promote the next event, whether it's a wow party, whatever it is. It may be a webinar. And we're going to be doing some live presentation webinars. Stay tuned for this. There are going to be overviews online, just like this, live overviews. You know, I'm going to be sharing the vision, or some of the other leaders are going to be sharing the vision, so they can learn how to do it. Okay, so we're going to be talking about that. Next is ask them to participate. What is it? You know, how do you see yourself getting involved here? Do you see yourself as a retail customer? Do you see yourself as a VIP customer, or do you see yourself as an agent and doing what that we're doing? Ask for participation. I don't expect a yes at this point, especially in the first few minutes. And again, we're going to get more into that next week. Okay, but at least I'm going to ask. Very important. And you will have people who participate. Last but not least, I'm going to get referrals. This is the money maker, guys. And again, we're going to get into real detail next week on this. Okay, this is the money maker. This is how I made millions of dollars in getting referrals, being able to dig through networks. That's network marketing at its finest. Next week, we're going to be going into some detail. And over the next coming weeks, you're going to be learning everything you need to learn to be an expert at this. This is the key, okay? So now let's go back to what we do on a daily basis. And I have one more slide and we're going to wrap this up, okay? Our daily method of operation, which is also known as a DMO. DMO, what's your DMO? What do you do every day? How do you build your business? It's by being consistent with these things. Number one, using the product twice a day. You know, I use my eye serum. I use my eye cream in the morning and at night. I use my mud soap every single day. Okay? Those are just the products I'm consistent with. Okay? There's other products I use, but those are the ones I use every day, twice a day. Why? Because I want to be the product of the product. I bring them with me everywhere I go so I can do it. Now, it wasn't something I ever did before. But it's amazing how many compliments you can get after a while because you will see it change. You'll see it. People will see it in you and start noticing. Now you'll have your own story. You know, it's funny. I have so many people that say, man, you're looking younger. Now, I don't know if they're just complimenting me. Maybe they are. But it makes me feel good, and I keep using my product. But I tell you what, my wife, and she's for those of you married, you know, your wife's pretty critical with you. She tells you the truth, no matter whether you want to hear it or not. She can tell when I'm not using the product. She, you know, if there goes a few days by where I haven't used it, she's like, hey, you haven't been using your product. And it's like, okay, well, if she can tell, then obviously it's working. Most of you know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to use the product for several reasons. I want to be a product of the product. I don't want to be a hypocrite, okay? And I want to be able to have my own story. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to demo the product twice a day. So I don't want to get in front of 2 people a day. I can at least demo the product and share the vision with, okay? 2 people a day, everyone can agree you can do that. If you're part-time, that's something you can do, okay? The third thing, and I'll get into more of that in a minute, is I'm gonna connect with the community. What does that mean? You know, I'm gonna call my upline. I'm gonna get on the support team. I'm connecting with my community every day. If you don't have an upline, you got a customer service department. You got a website, a back office. You can watch the videos. You can connect with the community every day. You need to be in the fire. And if you don't have a good upline, sometimes you don't, and that's okay. Don't blame anybody. Don't be upset. That can be some of your biggest blessings. You know, my first few companies, I didn't have a good upline. My upline was horrible. But it helped me learn to become a better leader. It helped me become a better upline to those people that I brought into the business. And I haven't done everything always right. Again, we're all human, all trying to do the best we can, okay? So you don't want to depend on an upline. However, you want to connect with the community. There's people that you'll meet that'll change your life forever. They'll be some of your best friends for life, okay? Connect with them. And maybe after a while, as you start to build an organization, you're connecting with them every day. Okay, let me bring up the last one here. Commit to your personal development. Connect to reading 10 pages of a good book every day. Listening to 15 minutes of a good audio every day. I've got so many audio programs just so many of them. You got The Influence here by Carrie Pattison here. It's a great audio program about leadership. This is the book I'm actually studying right now, The Unfair Advantage by Robert Kiyosaki. Oh, this will get you fired up about making money. It'll get you fired up about understanding what's going on around us economically and get you really wrapped into your secret business and working it. This is a phenomenal book. Gets me fired up every time I open the book and start reading it, man. I know I got to get moving for my family. Okay, so commit to personal development. Art Williams, The Art of Recruiting. It's one of the best, in my opinion, it's where I've learned so much. Again, Art Williams, Art of Recruiting. Just go on the website, buy the audio program. Okay, Jim Rohn, Cultivating an Unshakable Character. Just get the good quality content, get into the brain every single day. 15 minutes of a good audio and 10 pages of a good book. I'm sure you'd agree every one of us can do this. Now, wrapping up, let me show you the simple math. This is the simple math, and this is the one thing that I've done that separated, I think, myself from a lot of people in this profession. And anyone I've ever met that's made big money, for real, that can really do it. And I only say that because there are people who've gotten lucky in our profession. There's certain people who, right place, right time. They got a couple people in, one on the right team, one on the left team, and those people didn't need them, and they just went crazy and built a big business. And this person on top just made a bunch of money and doesn't even know how they did it. That happens. That's good and bad in the profession. It's good because it attracts a lot of people in. They're hoping to win the lotto. It's bad because it happens so rarely. And if you really want to make it, folks, you got to be it. I stopped thinking about, I got out of the way of going, you know what, I hope I get the right person. I hope I get lucky and find a so-and-so. And if I can just find this person here and this person here, I'm on easy street. I had to get that crap out of my brain. I had to say, you know what, forget finding the right person. I got to be the right person. I got to become the right person. And as I said in the beginning of this, I took full responsibility for my life. I stopped blaming everyone. Stopped blaming the company, the upline, everyone else. At the end of the day, if you're going to win, you're going to win big, it's going to be up to you. It's going to be because you decided to win. You said, you know what, I'm not worried about what's happening over here, what my upline's doing, what the sideline's doing. I'm going to build a business. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to serve people. I'm going to go out there, I'm going to help people. I'm going to go out there, I'm going to make it happen, no matter what. Okay? Okay, I'm good. Listen, here's the simple math. Let me go through this real quick. There we go. Look, I want you to see time, demos, enrolled agents, workers, and diamonds. Okay? This is how it works. Okay, let's talk about your first 10 weeks, and I'm going to try to see if you can. Okay, here we go. I'm going to just hold it here so you can kind of see it. 1 week, okay, you're doing, say, 2 demos a day for 5 days. You're not even doing 7 days a week, just 5. That's about 10 people a week, isn't it? If you do that for 10 weeks, at the end of the 10th week, you've had done 100 demos, haven't you? Now, it's just 10% enrollment. You got 10 people with you doing the business. It's the end of 10 weeks. One person's actually going to really be a worker, but we'll come back to that. Assuming 10 of those agents do the same thing you did that enrolled, okay? You have 100 people you have 1,000 demos at the end of 20 weeks between you and those 10. And I'm not even compounding actually your effort. These numbers are extremely conservative, okay? Assuming 10 people did that, 10. Not just you, but 10 did 2 a day. Over the next 10 weeks, you've done 1,000 demos with your organization. Okay, 100 new people have enrolled at just a 10% enrollment rate. You got about 10 workers, 1 diamond. Okay? And really, workers are kind of like the people who are actually going to do it. But again, let me just show you this. 30 weeks, 10,000 demos, 1,110. 40 weeks, 100,000, 10,000, 1,100. The end of 50 weeks, 1,000,000, 100,000, 10,000, 1,000. I want you to see that. Now, again, where do most people quit? Most people quit right in here. And the reason is because the reality is this is where the numbers really are. It takes the end of 30 weeks, the end of 30 weeks. At the end of 30 weeks, you only have 100 people really working the deal with you, 10 people that are players that are going to go on to make big money at the end of 30 weeks. Now, some people can do this much faster. And I was showing some people the other day my commissions and showing them how it happened, because that's what happened for me. At the end of 50 weeks, this is where it explodes. You see this number? This is the growth. This is the deal. This is the math. But let me just share this with you. I'm going to wrap this up, guys. My friends, this is where you can beat everybody, by that consistency. The time, it takes time. You can kind of see an S curve behind me here. Look, it takes time to get this thing going. Anything. And you don't know who's going to say yes. You don't know who's going to say no. It's just you got to be consistent. And the reason most people fail in our profession is because they quit. They quit in the first 10 weeks. The first 20 weeks, they don't see it. They don't see it exploding. They haven't made $1 million or 100,000 or 10,000. Now, are there people who come in and within their first 10, 20 weeks make a lot of money? Absolutely there are, without any question. There's people who make a lot of money the first week. But is that the reality for everybody? No, it's not. You don't know you can't compare yourself to other people. You don't know what they've been through, what they did in their previous life before they got here to Seacret. Okay, some have other careers, or they've been in this type of business before, or they have huge centers of influence, right? And they've done a lot of good things in their life for a lot of people, and people respect them and move in the direction that they move in. The reality is, folks, I promise you, I don't care who you are, where you come from, how much income you have or don't have, your education or lack thereof, whether you're tall or short like me, okay, or it doesn't matter what color your skin is, what religion you are. There's somebody similar to you, same background, or very similar at least, that's gone on to make an absolute fortune in this profession by understanding the one thing, that this is math. It's just mathematics. Be kind to people, be honest to people, go be willing to put in the work and not pawn it off on someone else, and do your 2 a day consistently with full faith and confidence that you will be led to the right leaders. And it'll happen for you. I've seen it happen for so many people, my friends. And look, it happened for me, and it can happen for you. I'm not special, I'm not better, and neither is anybody else who's making a fortune. Okay, no one's better. They can all do it. You can do it too. So look, I'm excited for your success. I'm excited for your future, guys. We're going to wrap this up. Again, I apologize for the delay in the beginning. We will edit this properly, and not next week. There's no webinar next week. Make sure you make a note of that. No webinar next Wednesday due to the Seacret conference in Las Vegas. Hopefully, I'll get the chance to see you out there. But there will be another one coming up here on the 18th. The 18th, where we're going to be talking about really sit-downs. What do you say to people? How do you say it? Really, how do you overcome some of the objections, and how do you move to the next step? How do you get into the referral base? How do you network? We're going to be going through that in detail on the 18th, so make sure you mark your calendars. So this webinar is now officially over. There will be questions and answers, so I'm going to go into that now, and I'll stay on for the next 20, 30 minutes answering some questions that are related specifically to building this earlier. Okay, here we go. Let me just refresh this. All right. Okay. Let's see here. Again, if you haven't liked our Facebook page, please do that. All right, got a lot of this. Okay. Here's a good question right here. It says, Josh, you talk about know where your sponsor placed you. Know where your sponsor placed you. How to place your new recruits. Say my sponsor has decided not to pursue the business and they happen to put me on an inside leg. Is it fair to say that I will no longer ever be a part of spillage from the upline? Any long-term, how might this affect my business? Knowing it took you 2 years to see spillage, what's your best advice for someone in my situation? Rebecca from Saskatchewan, Canada. Thank you in advance. Check in every week, love your webinars, amazing wife. Thank you. Look forward to seeing you also in at the moving event. Thank you, Rebecca. That's a great question. There's a lot of people, they'll say, well, you know, I'm an inside leg. So how am I going to win being on an inside leg? Guys, I get it. There is an advantage for sure. I'm not going to deny it. There's an advantage of having a sponsor who's going to be building strong. For sure, there's an advantage. Not to say so it wouldn't be right. However, guys, look, you can, Mr. Koo, okay, for example, the guy out of Korea, he was on an inside leg. He's the top guy in the entire company, built both of his legs, no spillage from above, none, okay? That didn't stop him. I've made $1 million before I got spillage. $1 million in a year before any spillage worth even talking about was there. To this day, I don't get that much of a benefit from it because of what I put on that same side, what I put on my shared side, the first recruits I put on my shared, okay, they were out producing it. And still I have so much volume there from that group, it won't really matter. So it is all in your own head, what you believe it to be. If you believe it's going to be a big challenge and hard, it'll be hard for you to get over it. And you won't be able to build. You are where you are. And you know, it's just the thing about it is once you get that out of your head and just realize it's up to you anyway, I promise you it'll be a lot easier. Okay, it really will. And again, most of the people in the entire company, and especially on your team, are not going to be on a shared line with a strong sponsor. That's just a fact. I'm talking, that's a minority. So I would rather relate with the majority than with the minority. And because you're on an inside line with no spillage from above, and you succeed, okay, I'm telling you what, the benefit of that is huge. That means you're going to be able to lead the majority of your group with absolute conviction, with absolute certainty, because you did it. And if you did it, of course, they can do it too. And that's why, you know, I feel so strongly about it. It's like, you know, I didn't have some upline blow out a line for me, okay? So it's much better that way. I can relate with more people, okay? Let's say Paul Caldwell says consistent daily activities, use the tracker. Guys, we're going to have a tracker loaded up on the website here shortly, so be on the lookout for that. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate that that insight. He actually put a tracker together for us. My brother kind of made it secretified and made it pretty awesome. So thank you, Matthew, for that. Let's see here. Shanahan Martinez, yes, The Unfair Advantage by Robert Kiyosaki. Unfair Advantage, what schools will never teach you about money. Robert Kiyosaki, this book is phenomenal. I love this book. Okay, let's see here. Hi, I am Amanda, and I got a girl to buy products, but I don't know what I did wrong, and she won't show up on my list. How do I fix that? Not exactly certain what you mean, Amanda. Please clarify your question. She won't show up on your list, meaning she doesn't show up on your customer list. She bought products retail. She bought products. There's not enough information here on your question, Amanda. So if you could retype that, be a little more specific, I could help you answer it. Sorry about that. Let's see here. Thank you guys for all the kind comments. I'm sorry I lost my my cool in the beginning. I was a little frustrated, as you could probably tell, just because last week, and I feel bad. I really feel responsible for making sure I'm delivering good content to you guys in a timely manner every week, and I got a little frustrated. And I'm sorry. Okay. Thanks, Flint family. I appreciate all the comments. This is great. How do you find out where your sponsor placed you if they're not in contact with you? Karen Clark from Glendale, Arizona. Karen, you can call the company. Just call the home office, the customer service department, and tell you exactly where you're at. They'll help you out there. Oh, and as far as structuring, guys, look, it's just a suggestion. I believe it's the right way to do it. You know, again, you may have a sponsor upline that says differently. Most of them, when I'm working with, the people I'm working with that are going out there and winning, that's how they're doing it, okay? And again, the goal ultimately is to have at least 20 leaders on the right side, 20 leaders that you personally brought in on both sides. You know, they call it 20-20 vision, have 20-20 vision. But in the beginning, you're probably going to start with 2 and 2, and then after a while it'll be like maybe 4 and 2, and then it'll be like 4 and 8, and then it'll be maybe like 8 and 16. You never know. And then eventually it'll get to a point where you have 20 and 20 on both sides, leaders that are working. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean if you recruit 20 and 20 or 40 people that you're going to have them all working. Remember the statistics. Okay, the numbers are the numbers. So just keep that in mind, guys. Okay, I think I fell off there for a second. Let's see here. Refresh the questions again. Please go ahead and ask them now. Again, all the customer service stuff. Yeah, Amanda, I'm assuming it's Amanda. Yeah, the customer list. You have to call corporate for that. I really don't know. But if someone signed up on your website to become a customer and they're not showing up, call customer service. They'll walk you through, show you how to do it, or fix any challenge that there might be. All right. Is there a new bonus or something along with the new executive rank, or is it just a title? Don, great question out of Oklahoma. When you come to the convention, they'll give you a $100 bonus when you cross the stage, but regardless, you get an incredible watch. It's very unique to Seacret. It's a Seacret agent executive watch. I don't know the value of it, but it's supposed to be valued a lot. I think they were $400, the cost of them, but the value is probably much greater than that. Again, I don't really know, so don't quote me on the prices. Or I just know it's really an amazing timepiece, very exclusive, and only executives can get it. You can't buy it. So that's that. If you're at the convention, they're going to give you $100 on stage. Okay, guys, I think we're out of questions. Let's see here. If so, I got a hot date with my wife. Oh wait, here's a whole bunch more. Okay, let's see. Would you please make a PDF of the structure that I could download? This is going to be. I guess I could. Let me get with my team, see if we can make that happen. Okay, let's see. But I think that's a good idea. Certainly, this will be up for replay. Janice in Charlotte, North Carolina. Can you show the math demos on screen again? Thank you for all you do. I can. I just want to make sure. Let's see. Give me a second, guys. Yes, I can. Give me a second. Let me do that in a little bit. If you sign up for your first agent, you strongly believe there'll be a strong builder and your upline has a strong leg built. Should you put them on the opposite side to build that side? That's a good question. No, I don't think so. I think you stick with the structure because you really don't know. And the reality is, a lot of times people, what they'll do is they'll play. And if you have a strong builder, okay, they're more than likely going to want to be on a shared side anyway. But the reality is, just stick to the same thing. You got to have strong leaders on both sides for you to advance. That's just period. You need to. So you want a strong leader on your right. You want a strong leader on your left. You want a strong leader on your shared. You want a strong. So whatever the side is, it doesn't matter. But I wouldn't get it out of order. It gets too complicated that way because then the way you teach, it's like, yeah, well, if you have this person and they have a certain color hat on and they have a certain last name, you're going to put them here. Guys, first person, put them on the shared side. Don't even think about it. Shared side. Second person, put them on the other side. Third person, put them on the shared. Fourth person, put them on the other side. And then whoever they are, put it on the side that has less volume for that week. That's the easiest way to explain it and do it. That's what I do. That's what I teach. And I'm just telling you, it's the easiest way to go about it. And again, you can't predict it. You end up with two strong people on your shared side. Hallelujah, God bless. It's cranking. Then go build the other side. At the end of the day, you're going to have to put a lot of people in this business and more than likely to make big money. Okay? Again, do what you want. That's just my suggestion. And it's a strong suggestion if you really want to make big money. Hey, hi, what if you're rebuilding your team? Everyone you personally placed is inactive, but there is more volume on the shared leg. Where do you start placing people? Thank you. Okay, look, if you've already done that structure, okay, obviously at that point, keep placing people in the lesser volume line. until it becomes a greater volume line, then place them on the other side. Again, you want to have two powerful lines you brought to the table regardless of what your sponsor's done, okay? I'm doing the Seacret University in Phoenix tomorrow night, speaking about Wired That Way, working with different personalities, building a team of influence. Oh, hey, Craig Holiday, love you, brother. Okay, cool. Hey, by the way, for those of you in Phoenix, get out to tomorrow night. Mr. Craig Holiday, diamond agent, six-figure earner, and actual legend in the profession. Guy's made over $10 million in commissions, helped I don't know how many people, over a dozen people become $1 million annual earners. He's going to be in Phoenix tomorrow night. I would show up if you're anywhere in the 2-3 state area. Show up tomorrow night. It's on the calendar. So before you start asking for addresses, show up on your Seacret calendar, and you'll find out. Let me refresh this, and as I do that, I'll show the numbers again for you. All right, here we go. Some more questions. Okay, again, I'm about to close out. Unless you have more questions, here we go. Here's the numbers, guys. Hopefully you can see that well. Very simple. Okay, let me go through this again. You're doing 100, you do one demo, or excuse me, in 1 week you do 10 demos a day for 5 days. That equals 10. Now, you could do 6 and compound the numbers. But in that scenario, you've done 100 demos in 10 weeks. 100 demos in 10 weeks. You've talked to 100 people, okay? 100 people. You show the product to, you share the vision with. Not more than 2 a day for 10 weeks, part-time, you've done this. Again, you could ramp it up as big as you want. However, this is the minimum. Okay. Out of that, I don't see how you're going to get less than 10 enrolled agents. I don't see that possibility. I just don't. Okay? One worker. 1 out of 10 is going to do something. They're going to work with you. You probably don't have any diamonds at this point, meaning people that are really going all the way to the top. After 20 weeks, you and the team have done 1,000 demos if these 10 enrolled agents actually work. If they haven't, you've done 100 demos for 10 enrolled agents for 100 people that are going to actually do it with you. Okay, I want you to follow this, but this is 20 weeks, and you only have one that's actually doing the deal with you. That's why most people quit. Okay, now you're going to have a mixed numbers here. After 30 weeks, again, these people did the same thing. 1,000 demos, 100 recruits, 10 people working the deal. At the end of 40 weeks, you have 100 people working the deal. At the end of 50 weeks, you have 1,000. That's the numbers, guys. Look, I personally have smashed those numbers, okay? I have people on the team that have smashed those numbers. It's just, it has to be you. My goal was 10 people a day for the first 2 years solid. I averaged 4 a day, 4 human beings I talked to, new people, not, hey, trying to get the same old crew to do something. That's where most of us get messed up here, folks. We talk to 20 people, and then we beat those 20 people to death over the next 20 weeks or 30 weeks. Come on, you said you're going to do it. Please do it. Please do it. And what we're really saying is, please make me rich. I don't want to work anymore. I don't want to do it. Please stop. Please, someone do it so I don't have to. Please. We're not using those words, but that's what we're saying. So, just go through the math, folks, and you'll make a fortune in this business. Look, outwork people. That's how you'll beat them. Outwork them. You'll beat someone with major talent and ability. And I know people. There's people that have just left the company and leave the company all the time. They've got extraordinary talent. They can get in front of the room and wow people. They can get in front of somebody. Man, they can get them in the business. But they don't do the work. They're not consistent. And they don't make it. Okay? They don't make it. I know so many people like that all across this profession, and they bounce from deal to deal to company because they think the world owes them something. They're entitled. Well, I don't have to work like that anymore. I did that, yesteryear. Okay, well then, whatever. The reality is, yes, if you want to harvest, you got to plant seeds. I don't care how good of a farmer you are. Okay, that's the way it is. Now, the good news is if you do it long enough, you will win, and you'll win big, and you'll lead other people to win. All right? That's all I want for you guys. I don't want you to be, led astray or think that, this is just going to come easy. Folks, you're going to work hard, okay? But it's going to be worth it. Now, last question. This is from Shanahan Martinez again. Hey, Josh, if someone wants to buy one product instead of doing the bundle and save or VIP products, what's the best and most cost effective for the customer to get that certain product? You know, I'm not the best at this stuff. I'd ask customer service on that. I'm not good at that. I would say, you know, if they don't want to do a bundle, they don't want to be a VIP, you know, they buy retail. That's what they do. They go online on your site and buy whatever product they want, retail. That's what I would do. Make money. Okay, but this is a business for you making money. I have no problem retailing product at all. I think even at the retail price, it's low. It's freaking a deal. But that's how I believe. And if you believe that too, you'll be able to convey that belief, transfer that belief, and thus have other people see it the way you see it and also buy the products. Okay? So I think that's it, guys. I'm refreshed it last time, but I think we're over the questions. Everyone's asked their question. All right. Done deal. We've gone through it all. No more questions left. An honor and a privilege to have served you this evening. God bless you, and I look forward to seeing you all at the Movement Convention and, of course, on the next Wednesday's webinar on the 18th of March. God bless. Have a good night.